Maybe we'll ask her about what she can do to get rid of the blight. Alan Ackerman joins me, an attorney, prominent attorney, represents a lot of landowners. He is upset. He says that it should not be a citizen issue. It should not be a neighbor against a neighbor, because there is a movement right now to have neighbors sue neighbors to force the neighbor that owns the dilapidated house to fix it up. He says that's not really the way to go. This is a state issue, not a state issue, but a city or county issue.
Or the state could take it on, too.
State has the power, too?
State would have the power.
All right, it's condemnation. Without getting super technical, though, the city, the state, the county has a right to condemn these lands, don't they?
Well, there's two words. Let's not, there's two types of condemnation. One is for building violations or unsafe properties. That's where it's blight, a blight condemnation notice. Okay. The other kind of condemnation is where people get run over because the government wants to build a stadium or a roadway or urban renewal.
That's not what happened here.
That's not the type of condemnation. Eminent domain we're not talking about.
We're talking blight condemnation.
Blight condemnation.
All right, so blight condemnation, the city has a right to come in and take the property.
The city has a right to come in and make the property safe so it's not dangerous to the neighborhood.
Which could mean tearing it down?
And it would very likely mean tearing it down.
I mean, these things are not, you can't rehab some of these buildings.
Well, the question is, if you can't rehab them, don't rehab them. If you can rehab them and make them...
Fine. All right, so who initiates that? This is what the people are upset about. I mean, we did a story last week or a couple weeks or so ago about kids walking to school at Denby High School. These kids have to walk a mile to school. They pass 15 dilapidated buildings.
15? A mile? 15? Come on. 170.
170.
Okay,
I was being generous. That was the nice way. They took the scenic route. I don't know. All these abandoned buildings, these houses, and they're dangerous, and people are afraid. What can we do, Alan Ackerman?
Well, look, individuals can sue. What's the first impediment for you to sue your neighbor?
Oh, I don't want to.
You got to pay $150 to file a dang lawsuit.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. If it's a complaint filed in circuit court, well, you have to go.
All right, so you've got to do $150. So we can't do that. That's gonna prevent a lot of people from doing
You got 10 of those houses on your block. You're already living on the block. It's not like you got a lot of shekels in your pocket already.
That's right.
And you go in there, you're going to pay $1,500 to file the suits against the 10 people who have blighted houses, who live in Podunk somewhere else, and they used to own the house
who are
there.
dead, or who knows who owns the property.
Right.
All right, so no, you're not going to do that. Okay, so there you go. It's never going to happen.
It's very difficult for it to happen.
There's actually a movement now. Some of the some of the law students, it looks like at Wayne State, are actually trying to facilitate these. I don't know who's paying the bill for these, but
legal services of the school.
I guess legal services.
Yeah, but you got to understand something. You're looking at Wildermere. You're looking at one of the 4 nicest neighborhoods in Detroit when you're looking at the golf course subdivision. Right. And what are you going to have there? 5% dilapidated houses. Right, so it's easy for you to pay the $150. You got a $75,000 to $140,000 house next door. Then you pay the $150.
All right. But on most of the areas of the city, nobody's going to have the money to do that. So it's not practical. So again, how do we do it? How can we force the city to fix up these dilapidated buildings? Do we have to change the law?
I could suggest to you the first thing I would do is I would prefer having individuals not have to sue people in their own neighborhood, because this is a governmental function. However, if the government refuses or is incapable of handling its function, which it is in this case, at least have a system in which you can file a lawsuit without impoverishing yourself. $150 for the people who are in these neighborhoods may be their take-home pay for 10, 12, for 8 days.
Yeah, it could be. All right, so let's eliminate the rule, though. What did Rudy Giuliani do in New York City? I mean, he allowed the eminent domain rules. He took over part of that city.
If something was wrong in New York City, he said, right now, today, we're taking care of the problem. But New York City had a lot more money than Detroit has. And it may not be realistic fiscally, FISCALL, to do it.
Now, there is a condemned list in Detroit. I was at a city council meeting the other day, and they read the addresses off of a list that they're going to tear down homes. Mm-hmm. The demolition list.
And I bet you that demolition list is 1/10% of the houses to be demolished in the city of Detroit. And it took them 20 minutes of the meeting, too.
It actually did do that. Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, who's going to read all this thing? But anyway, but is there anything else that we can do? I mean, where is the power here? I mean, why can't we just get rid of some of these bad homes through, maybe it is the county. County's got money. Maybe it is the state. Alan Ackerman, what about the state? Can the state come in and condemn all these properties?
The state is doing a lot. I'll give you an example of what the state's doing. They're right now, there's all these properties that are owned by the government, allegedly owned by the government by tax sales. the original notices may not have been given to the right owners at the time. If you want to redevelop the property, all of a sudden those owners show up and say, hey, well, I got an interest over here. Give me a couple bucks, I can blackmail you. And the state's starting to just file lawsuits to clean up properties one at a time. The first thing that we should do is we should change the cost of filing these lawsuits. And I know it clogs the court system, but the fact is it's an impediment to filing because it's so darn expensive.
All right, so we change the cost, or that's a legislative issue. No, it's probably not even the legislature could do that. We don't need the legislature to file that, do we?
Filing fees are probably judicial, but someone has to go to the Supreme Court Administrative Office to do it.
All right, so that's one reason. Okay, so now we've got citizens suing citizens again, which is what you kind of wanted to avoid in the first place.
Or you have the Attorney General cleaning up the properties.
That's a possibility.
They'd have to delegate the power to him to do it and give him the financial wherewithal.
I guess it's the issue is the money, though, isn't it? Really, the money. I mean, it takes money to knock down this building, get rid of this, to bury it, take it to a landfill. I mean, I don't know what you do with it. Maybe burn it down.
Well, by the way, that's another problem.
Burning it down?
No, in the old days, the city of Detroit would people had the basements or Michigan basements, and
that's right too.
And they used to just demolish them and dump it on the basement. So then, when you want to redevelop it, you got to clean all the darn thing out. It makes the property that much less valuable. It's awful.
So you have to fill in. Now you have to fill in these basements too. Then.
Well, you really got to fill in the basement to throw the garbage left of the house, the wood, and pile it in, and then put a layer of dirt over it. So
there is a cost in tearing down. I mean, we know that.
It's got to be. It's probably $7,000 to $12,000 a house.
$7,000 to $12,000.
Oh yeah, it is. It's an expensive thing. It's really expensive.
What about burning? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. What about burning?
Well, you can't even burn leaves. How are you going to burn a house?
Well, change the law.
Oh, change the law. What are you going to do at Washington? You know, they'll be here with sharp knives and no money.
Well, all I'm saying, though, I mean, maybe that would be and I'm not suggesting. I'm just throwing it out.
They'll stop funding it federally. They won't give any federal funds if you start breaking their environmental laws. That's contamination.
248-356-1270. I'm trying to come up with a solution here. I know it's going to get me in trouble here. I'd say burn it down. We'll get Malik Shabazz over here. He'll burn them down.
Well, Charlie will do it. We won't have any all our money from the feds. They don't give us enough now.
Feds had money. There was money that the feds had. They gave to the city of Detroit, and it was gone. They didn't use it in time. Why didn't they use that money to tear down these houses? But $7,000 to $12,000 a house. That's just amazing here. Bottom line to this whole thing is that the law, this Blight statute, which is already on the books, would allow the city to come in and take these houses. And why they're not doing that, Alan Ackerman, to me, is not right. County should be doing it too, maybe.
I would think the county had the ability up to this year financially to do it. It doesn't anymore, but I think McNamara was doing a little of it, and no one pressed them to do more.
Well, the city of Detroit is doing it too, but I mean, they just don't have enough time. They don't have enough.
Well, they don't have enough funding right now. I would suggest to you that the city could find ways to raise the funds. The city has opportunities to do great things. And CCS is the Center for Creative Studies. We were talking about it before. And I'll tell you what they've done in that neighborhood over there is amazing.
Why can't the city just give these properties to people and then and give them 10 properties all in a row? Then they could put up a nice home for it.
Does anybody on the radio want to pick up 10 of those properties? We'll find the 10 properties. I'll sue the people for you so we can waste the house, knock the house down.
Well, that's a good thing.
Give you the land. Yeah, it won't happen. People aren't going to do it until people feel secure every day, and they can get their kids educated for free, and a public school that there's quality, which Roy Roberts is really getting us on the route to doing.
Right.
And they feel that they're safe and secure in their homes, which they don't do.
We're never going to solve this problem.
No, we are going to solve this problem. This is our city. Don't you want your kids to come visit you?
I want kids. I want to solve this problem. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying to find out the answers here.
I want my kids to come on the high holidays.
I just give them the house and say, here you go. All you have to do is tear it down. It costs you $7,000 to $12,000, and then you have to put up some kind of a structure, and there you go. Give it to them for free. Give it to them. Deed it over. The city probably owns these properties anyway, or the city could own these properties for without a whole lot of difficulty.
Yeah, only $150 a filing. You got a block, you got 40 houses. That's nothing. $6,000 to file the lawsuits to clean it up and all the lawyers' time.
So we X out the cost of filing. 248-356-1270. Let me get Dwight from West Bloomfield. Good morning, Dwight. You're on the Charlie Langton Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, way back in 1986, when I was 16 years old, me and my friends, we were out in the street playing baseball on the west side of Detroit, and we saw these military trucks roll in.
Yeah.
And it was some Army National Guard, and they tore down 2 abandoned houses. So the city needed to go through their records and find out what program that was way back in 1986, 87.
You familiar with that program, Alan Ackerman?
I am not, but I'll tell you something. It'd be great if the National Guard came in and did some of the demolition of the houses during their summer work.
That would be so
hell of a lot better than sending them to Afghanistan and Iraq.
Afghanistan have billions and billions. All we need to do is stop that. We could tear down the whole city of Detroit.
Right.
That's good. Dwight, I appreciate the call. We'll look into that as well. Again, we're going to have some answers. Alan Ackerman, you're fun. That's good. Got to get you back over here. We can come up with a solution over here.
Oh, this was fun. This is fun,
isn't it?
Yep.
All right, listen, we've got to take a break. Alan Ackerman, all the best to you. Thanks a lot.